Hey everybody, this should be your November 13th safety tailgate meeting. This morning we're going to talk about the incident that occurred on Tuesday, and then the tailgate meeting I've sent to all the managers will follow. There was a crew taking down some trees up near Pine Grove Furnace. These were all woods grown trees, so they were the long stem, small canopy type trees, bean pole looking things, and there were several blowdowns in the area. The crew did a great job cutting down the trees on Monday that were on the contract. The last tree they had to work on was an add-on, so it had not been looked at by a salesman, and the crew had to make a game day decision to remove that one on their own. The job was all no cleanup. Their plan was to cut the top of this tree out to shorten it so they could drop the whole tree then without hitting a service drop and the cabin and some other things in the work area. So a rope was set from the ground, a climbing line was set from the ground at about 40 feet in the air, 45 feet, and the climber ascended straight from the ground up toward the tying point. So if the tree is leaning at an angle, climber was ascending straight up to the time point to take the top out. On his way up, the crew decided to cut off a limb from another tree that was underneath this one so that when they pulled the remainder of the trunk over, it wouldn't hit it or deflect it somewhere. So they were just clearing the way for the final cut to be made. The crew leader on the ground grabbed the tail of the climber's rope and swung him no more than 6 or 8 feet toward the tree in question. And at that moment, the tree the climber was tied into started to uproot and then failed at the base. So the climber had made it to the tree he was trying to get to. The tree that he was tied into failed behind him then and pulled him off of that tree to the ground. We estimate the climber fell about 25 to 30 feet. As soon as he hit the ground, he was unconscious. Crew leader, in his quick thinking, ran down to some fishermen who did have service. Crew leader did not have cell service, and they called 911. Within 10 or 15 minutes, EMS showed up. By then, the injured climber, was conscious, but very incoherent. So severe concussion, obviously. He was carted off, driven a few miles, and then life flighted to a hospital a short distance away. The climber is not in very good shape. It's going to be a super long road to recovery. I don't have a whole lot of details. I also want to leave names out of all this just because I'm going to put this on YouTube, and for privacy sakes, I want to keep names out of it. But for the safety of everybody that may watch this or listen to it, we're not going to stick our head in the sand and act like it didn't happen. So hindsight is always 20/20. Nobody is pointing the finger anywhere. I think a number of different people would have done the exact same thing this crew did. They did not act in a neglectful or reckless way. I don't think they were in a hurry because this happened in the morning. Usually you don't get into a hurry until the afternoon. But nonetheless, as with 99.9% of incidents, are preventable. There were a number of factors that went into this incident. Because of the tree where it was, the previous trees they had climbed, some storm damage that had occurred months ago that affected the stability of this tree. But nonetheless, a very thorough pre-climb inspection would have been a big factor in the course of action that was taken to cut this tree down. So take that as it is. We should all be doing a pre-climb inspection of every tree we climb, whether it's for electrical hazards, hornet's nests, root rot, bears, or whatever else you might find up in a tree. We should be inspecting these trees for hazards to us, to people around us. And then that goes twofold when you get into rigging and removal and all other things. But at minimal, we should be doing a better job of pre-climb inspections. In the near future, there will be some measure of action taken to prevent something like this from happening, whether that means a documented pre-climb inspection of any tree that's climbed that's not listed on the work order. Would probably be where I'm heading. So if it's an add-on tree that a certified arborist or a track qualified arborist hasn't got their eyes on, that might warrant a more thorough inspection on the crew leader's part or the climber's part. So that's probably where this is going to head. I'm going to send the TCIA tailgate out with this video, or with a link to this video. So hopefully everybody watches it, take part in the tailgate, talk about everything that happened, and please keep the climber and his family and his doctors in your thoughts and prayers, because he's got a long road of recovery. So that's it. Have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you later.